Don't let these months fly by you. There is still time to get in that summer trip. And let's be real, we might want to add the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to our list. The Cleveland Museum is home of all things rock and roll, and that's an expansive definition, y'all. The new SNL exhibit also brings you up close to artifacts from musical sketches like the cowbell, or maybe the glasses from Run DMC, or the dress from Sabrina Carpenter, and so much more. Check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to learn more about the music that connects us all. More info is at rockhall.com/exhibitions/SNL 50 Years Music. Today on CityCast Chicago, why are Texas Democrats held up in a Chicagoland hotel? Where can you learn if your neighborhood pool is still open through August? And why are folks talking about a man living in the bean? It's Tuesday, August 12th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. I'm joined this morning by executive producer Simone Alicea. Simone, how you feeling? How was your weekend?
I'm doing okay. My weekend was good. I tried the pickle slushie at Sonic.
Okay, how was that? I know you love a good pickle.
I do love a good pickle. It was delightful. It was much better than I expected it to be. And I'll probably get another one. How was your weekend?
You can mark me down for will not be trying, along with that Heinz ketchup smoothie that they got from going over at Smoothie King. Those are two like gimmick smoothies, it feels like.
Our newsletter editor, Emmy Mack, tried the ketchup smoothie, said it mostly tasted just like fruit because it is mostly fruit.
And so I'm gonna just get a fruit smoothie then.
Clearly the Heinz ketchup smoothie is there to be a gimmicky thing for Heinz and for Smoothie King.
The pickle smoothie is just a flavor of smoothie they offer.
At a place that is known for where people combine weird flavors, right? Like that's kind of what Sonic is all about. And so, it feels, yes, it's gimmicky, but it's less...
But that's actually just a straight up flavor offering for the people who want it. I can understand that. So I won't be trying the novelty Heinz smoothie, and I would not try probably a smoothie, slushy, anything pickled flavored that isn't a pickle or something pickled. I'm not really interested in. A story last week that I, in a lot of ways, ignored because I think I misread it, Simone, was there was a large group of Texas Democratic lawmakers in Illinois, in parts of Chicagoland, and I thought it was as simple as they were protesting Governor Abbott, Texas GOP, as directed by President Trump. They were protesting their attempt to have a mid-decade redistricting, which would push out a few of these Democratic lawmakers ahead of the 2026 elections. I thought it was as simple as that. They were here during a press conference with like Governor Pritzker, Illinois lawmakers, to say, hey, we do not stand for this. This is an authoritarian overreach. But actually, the story ran a lot deeper than they were just here for a couple press conferences. Catch me up here.
Right. So dozens of Texas Democratic lawmakers, about 40, they've been in Illinois for about a week. They're going on week 2. There are others spread to other Democrat-led states across the country. And what they're trying to do is they are physically trying to stop the Texas State House from achieving a quorum, which would allow them to actually take a vote on that redistricting, right? Governor Greg Abbott, as you said, at the behest of President Trump, called a special session, and these Dems are trying to wait out the session. They're like, if we're not there, you can't reach a quorum, and therefore you can't have this vote. And
because Trump explicitly asked the governor of Texas.
He says, I deserve 5 more seats.
5 more seats. Like, deliver me more seats. And again, we've covered what redistricting looks like because we had our 10-year redistricting in the last couple of years.
2021, yes.
Right. This is not a part of that 10-year cycle.
No, this is outside of the cycle, outside of the census cycle. And yeah, Trump literally said, like, I deserve 5 more congressional seats, in his attempt to try to maintain Republican majorities in Congress, right? Our colleagues at CityCast Austin have been following this very closely because obviously that is where the Texas legislature is housed. And so you should definitely, if you're interested in kind of how that's actually playing out on the ground in Texas, you should definitely take a listen to their coverage. But meanwhile, there has been many of them staying here in Illinois. There have been a group who have been in California, and Pritzker has been kind of out on the trail, sort of trying to support them. In the meantime,
Senator Dick Durbin just joined alongside the lawmakers at the top of the week as well.
Yeah, and it's been getting intense. The hotel, they're staying at a hotel in St. Charles, so just not too far outside of Chicago, and that hotel has been the subject of 2 bomb threats in the past few days. They've had to been evacuated twice. I don't know why they're not moving hotels, but that's another story for another day, I suppose. Texas Republicans are trying to petition a court here in Illinois, in downstate Illinois, trying to get the court to allow them to come and arrest these lawmakers. Right now, these lawmakers there's no criminal charges against them, which means that, despite the fact that Abbott and the leaders in Texas are trying to scramble everybody, they're trying to get the FBI involved. The FBI has said they're going to try to get these Texas lawmakers. However, there is no actual crime. There is sort of a civil, I don't know if it's a warrant, but essentially, like, if for those Dems who are still in state lines, they can kind of be rounded up, essentially. The lawmakers are facing daily fines. So, there are some pretty material consequences. But as of yet, they're enlisting the help of some Illinois Republicans for this, barring some kind of court order that says, that they can go and arrest these folks. That, as of yet, isn't happening.
Yeah, I did not realize
just how crazy this was.
How wild we had got here. Again, it's already wild enough that the president of the United States is blatantly asking a governor who, again, is an ally if he is, to just sort of go around state and federal law precedent to like deliver these seats. But the idea that the FBI, Texas law enforcement, Illinois law enforcement are being asked to, like we said, we'll just call it what it is, to arrest, escort back to Texas, and then to either force to stand in session or to be stripped of their political power. They're being threatened to
take your seat away, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for as wild as this all sounds, and I wonder how long these lawmakers can hold out in these different Democratic strongholds, according to our colleagues down in Austin, it sounds like this is eventually likely to lead to Governor Abbott and Trump getting what he wants.
Yeah, I asked our fellow executive producers in Austin and also with CityCast Houston as well. I was sort of getting a sense of their view of it, and they were like, "This kind of seems inevitable." That Abbott has said that he's going to plan to call special session after special session after special session to get this done, and so we'll see kind of how it plays out here in Illinois. I think the other thing that's interesting is, some of these Democrat-led states have hinted at the idea that, like, well, maybe we'll redistrict in response to that. Someone asked Pritzker about this last week, a few days ago, and was sort of like, well, are you gonna respond? And he gave kind of a typical Pritzker answer, which is sort of like, everything's on the table. You know what I mean? That maybe we will.
I mean, of all of the governors to be asked this, California, New York, Illinois, I'd imagine Governor Pritzker is in one of the better positions because, it isn't lost on me the irony that Texas Democrats are coming here for, again, what is a very this is not normal what the Texas Republicans are trying to pull off. But the idea that they are trying to protest gerrymandering by coming to stand with Illinois lawmakers who, maybe not out of the 10-year cycle, but over the last few generations, has created a map that is more than beneficial to Illinois Democrats, has allowed us to keep a supermajority.
Yeah, let's talk about Democratic gerrymandering in Illinois. Like, it's certainly happened and reinforced sort of generation after generation. Our 2021 map itself, I think, got like for fairness, got like an F rating by some watchdog, because the last map we did further entrenched Democratic power, particularly in the state Supreme Court as well as in the state legislature. Yeah, there is a bit of an irony. As you say, I think the big difference here is, right, what's happening in Texas is pretty blatant It is a mid-year, off time at the behest of a president who certainly has no respect for the rule of law in any demonstrable way. When I was talking to our colleagues in Houston, one of the points that they made is like, this actually feels more like a national story. This is a national story about sort of the power fight between Republicans and Democrats, but also for Democrats in particular to sort of have something to kind of grip onto, rally around, given how sort of scattered that party has been since the election. And I think with that, we kind of can bring it back locally to Pritzker and sort of, will he, won't he run for president in 2028? Like, this just feels like more of a platform, more of an opportunity.
He had already announced he was rerunning for governor of Illinois, sitting down with Colbert on national television to sort of get some of that Colbert rub, as he's, an opponent of Trump since being told that his show is going off air. He's being fired from CBS. That isn't necessarily the platform a state governor needs to push forward his candidacy in Illinois. Like, he has a lot of support here. And so that definitely another, like, standing next to Texas Democrats, as this vocal opponent of Trump, sitting down next to Stephen Colbert. Yeah, the writing is not off the wall. All right, so I want to name a couple qualities. I want you to think if they apply to you, and just maybe I might got your next career move. Ready? I bet. Do you have a passion for people? You're excited to help others, and you got great customer service skills. Do you crave flexibility, right? You want to be in charge of your own schedule and chart your own course. Do you got that hustle in you, right? Are you ready to turn that drive into something meaningful? All right, if you answer yes, then hey, real estate might be your next big move. Realtors help people make one of the biggest decisions of their lives, buying or selling a home, and no 2 days are the same. It's a chance to grow a business, make an impact, and build the lifestyle you're working towards. Visit realtorsrealestateschool.com to set up a free career consultation. Earlier this month in our guide to August, we were telling people to get outside and enjoy Chicago beaches and Chicago pools, because this is going to be the last month where you can enjoy those with lifeguards. A few outdoor and indoor pools have closed, but Simone, the Chicago Park District has released an updated schedule for the remainder of August leading into Labor Day for Chicago indoor and outdoor pools. Where are we with that?
Yeah, so the top headline is that there are going to be at least 19 neighborhood pools that are going to remain open through Labor Day. This is a big deal because all pools were set to close for the season by August 17th, which would have been a really, really short swimming season, one of the shortest.
And that would have been in line with classes restarting on Monday.
Yeah.
And a lot of those high school kids were lifeguards, like, either going back to college, going back to high school, whatever the case may be.
Exactly. Aligned with sort of the CPS schedule and sort of dealing with students both who are working, for the Park District, but also like the Park District pools, a lot of that programming is for kids, right? And we've already seen a lot of the like day camps and stuff close at the pools, but with more kids going back to school, you imagine probably maybe a little less demand. However, we have had a lot of extreme heat this summer, several sort of heat waves that have kind of rolled through. And so I think there's been a lot of questions of like, well, the pools are kind of one place where you can stay cool. But also I think, it's interesting because we had one of our colleagues here in Chicago was asking, oh, the day camps are done at my pool. Like, is there still time for me and as an adult to go to like some kind of open swim or something like that? Are there open swims available? And I think there are plenty of adults who are, interested in getting to the pool before the season closed. So 19 neighborhood pools will remain open through Labor Day. Starting September 2nd, all indoor pools will reopen for open swim and lap swim. So it is good to know that like there are a lot of indoor pools that are open year round in the Park District, which I think we forget about sometimes. The real trick, however, is like Park District schedules and schedules for individual pools vary pretty wildly in my experience. So you're definitely going to want to call ahead to make sure that the schedule is what it says it is.
I would say this is one of the most equitable distribution maps in all of Chicago maps. We talk about them quite a bit. The 19 pools are spread across the entire city. Edgewater, Austin, Bucktown, Portage Park, Lincoln Square, Bridgeport, Little Village, Clearing, Auburn, Gresham, Roseland, Altgale Gardens. And so there, for most of the people listening to this, there should be a pool relatively close to you that doesn't end its schedule until September 1st.
And I think the Block Club report indicated that the choice, in addition just to sort of equitably spacing the pools that are going to remain open for the longer period, I think there was also a real focus on hot spots in the city, because as we know, certain parts of the city get a lot hotter than others when it gets hot outside. And so I think that was also a focus of the Park District as well.
This weekend, so 10 closed this past Sunday. 42 are scheduled to close on Sunday. So if you can get out this week and enjoy them, please do. As Simone said, call ahead, check the website just to make sure.
Got any fun trips coming up? One thing you probably haven't put on your packing list is learning the language. But with Babbel, you can start talking in just a few weeks. I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. And I also just persuaded my friend who's going to France this fall to learn French with Babbel, but that is another story. Babbel's extremely fun and intuitive. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket. Handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers and built with science-backed cognitive tools and interactive features to fit any learning style. I love a lot of the different Babbel features. The Babbel games for sentence building, Babbel speech recognition, which helps me get the pronunciation right. And now I'm really into Babbel's word of the day, which greets me on the homepage of the app. Every day, a new word revealed like a little surprise with a sentence to help contextualize it. It's like a daily treat for me. Studies from Yale, Michigan State, and other leading universities continue to prove that Babbel works. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. Look, I want you to learn another language. So I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
All right, now this last story is something I did see on Instagram about a week ago. It was this growing protest outside of the Bean. There was a group of picketers who popped up protesting that a man was living inside, like literally inside of the Bean, and has been trapped in there for the last 20 plus years since they were a baby. I saw it. I laughed. I kept scrolling.
Right. You move along. Sure.
And, right. I just kept pushing. I didn't even realize how many people liked it. I didn't go to the Instagram page to see what was there. But then all of a sudden I'm seeing Sun Times headlines and Block Club headlines. And next thing I know, this warning, Simone, it had reached its way to you.
Yeah. I got to this pretty late because I don't see anything cool ever. But yeah, there was a group of picketers, I believe actually during Lala is when they were out, when that part of the city was just flooded with people and there's not much.
I think it was the right before. I want to say their first Instagram post was on 28th. So I think it was that week that Lala was starting.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then it's just, as you said, sort of started to blow up. And, they were holding signs like, what is it? You wouldn't put a baby in a bean? Is that what it said? It's
you wouldn't put a baby inside. You wouldn't put a baby inside the bean.
Yes.
Let him rest. Unlock
yes.
Cloudgate. There is a in the bean.
Yes. There's a man in the bean. Yes.
Did I say release, reflect? I don't know.
and they have like a thing that's like you can see an outline of the man and it's
they even had a number. Let me call this number real quick.
Oh boy.
Good afternoon, Alderman Riley's office.
Oh, it's just Alderman Riley's office. Oh. Oh, okay. So this explains a lot. Okay. So this explains.
I feel so bad for them.
Yeah. So this is the other part of the story that gets a little touchy here. So,
I'm so
Alderman
sorry.
Brendan Riley's office, where the bean is located, that is the ward. That's his ward. Has been inundated, flooded with calls about the man and the bean. And again, partly because, as you have just demonstrated, they have a phone number on their site that directly goes to the alderman's office. That's been their sort of call, is to, petition the alder to let the man and the bean go. Riley's office has come out and is like, guys, this is stopping us from doing actual work. You need to stop calling.
They played into the joke a little bit in their response.
They did.
Very much like they got released a long time ago. Let's keep it pushing.
They're trying to, no one wants to quash the bit, right? No one wants to, and it's really interesting because in a lot of the coverage, the Man and the Bean Coalition, as they refer to themselves, has responded that everyone who calls it a hoax is part of Big Bean Media, which I guess that includes us now. We are Big Bean Media, that they are there to try to help the man trapped in the bean. It's very big, like birds aren't real vibes in terms of this piece of performance art, this protest. But Jacoby, you did the actual work of checking who the Man and Bean Coalition follows on Instagram.
Yeah, I guess my first question was, I appreciated the bit. When I saw people covering it, I guess the question to me was like, okay, who are all these people protesting? What's this group of people? What's the story? Are they Chicago comedians? Are they improvers? Are they performance artists? What are they doing? And so I can only assume that the Chicagoans that Man and the Bean on Instagram was following had some direct connection to this. I could not confirm that because I did not reach out.
We don't know.
But they were following, in addition to Anish Kapoor, only 6 other people.
Anish Kapoor, who is the artist behind the bean, for those who don't know.
Yes. But then they're also following Dimitri Magus, Emily Ruth, Ariel Zaromsky, Al Smart, Zach Foley, and Jacob Ryan Reno. And I did a little, just a little picture comparison, went on all of their profiles of the performers, Chicago comedians. They most recently performed together a part of Chicago Cop Macbeth earlier this year for the Chicago Conspirators, which is a group of, it's a theater and performance collective in Chicago dedicated to provoking thought and action through dynamic, immediate theater art. And so that feels very much connected to what we were seeing happen outside of the Bean at the end of July and in early August when they were out there protesting. Again, no confirmation that these are the artists behind it, but...
And the Man and Bean Coalition, in all of their statements to the media so far, has said, we want to focus on our collective action. We're not interested in focusing on the individuals behind the protest. And they just want to shine attention on the man in the bean, on the man stuck in the bean.
It feels like, I say I appreciate the effort when the idea of that there are, thousands upon thousands of hours of footage being uploaded every single hour onto the internet. It's real hard to get people's attention.
To break through. Yeah.
It's hard to go viral. It's hard to get people to stop and notice in this city. So within, 11 or 12 days to have 30,000 followers, to have gotten the alderperson to speak out, local journalists to write about it, I'm all for that. I'm absolutely for it.
There is so much unreality in this world, right? And there's so much branding and marketing and somewhat people trying to sell us stuff all the time. I mean, we just, right, top of the show, we're talking about the ketchup smoothie. We're talking about, and then the sort of political theater of Democrats and Republicans and what's happening in Texas and Illinois right now. Right. There's sort of so much going on that is like, is this actually real? Does this actually mean anything?
Or is this just a phenomenon of marketing, which most things end up being?
Yeah. And so it kind of comes full circle to this story, which is sort of like not really a real thing, but it's become a real thing because people are buying into it. That said, please stop calling the alderman's office about a hoax. Like call him to talk about stuff that you really care about. Absolutely call your alderman. But like, maybe let them do their jobs. But it is so hard to get people to act on something that like I really, we're constantly out here being like, hey, become a member. Like, hey, go to our website. Like, hey, share us with a friend. Like we have to do it too. And so I know how hard it is to like get someone to do something. And so the fact that this did, like, I kind of have to respect it. The other thing though that like I saw like one of the top comments on their latest post where they, sort of have like an update about the Block Club story that came out about them. Like one of the first like top comments is from Lou Malnati's, who's trying to like jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who's like, oh, we've been delivering pizza to him throughout the years, and that he is registered in our system. And I was like, okay, Lou,
felt like the first, what's the phrase? Like the first rock to fall, or the first.
Yeah, I mean, they said Lou Malnati's, thank you for your support. So like, of course,
because you got to take the support. You got to use every Block Club article as a way to get more attention. Anybody who's gonna give y'all free stuff or try to ride y'all way if you got to. But it does feel like that moment when a popular dance, you see it on like in a commercial, or you see Hillary Clinton doing it or something. You're like, all right.
I guess it's done now. We're over.
Yeah, this might be over. And so, again, how far can you really take this? I'd love to see maybe them popping up at other festivals, like kind of like this become their thing as a group.
I want to see like other people trapped in stuff. You know what I mean? Like in other monuments around Chicago or other public artworks. My very first thought when I saw it is I was like, who would be the funniest person to be stuck in the bean? Like, what would be the silliest person who could be stuck in the bean?
My first ones was Jane Byrne and Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen is really good, I think. He obviously is not, for the record, just in case anybody needed that clarified. He is not stuck in the bean.
I will say, because this is such a vague group and they haven't really tried to get any personal attention, I hope that they're able to like parlay this into something for themselves, because it feels easy for just like any other group of 7 white Chicagoans to go throw on all black.
It's so funny, Jacoby, because you're really coming at this with a lot of empathy for the performers themselves. I just
assume every bit is an attempt to bring people to more of your work. I just hope it succeeds.
I'll be curious. I'll be curious to see how much more growth it's got.
I want to give a huge thank you to our executive producer, Simone Alicea, for making the time to sit down with me today. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you to do me one huge favor, and that's take our annual audience survey. Obviously, as you know, we make this podcast and newsletter from the crib, and this is how we learn who you are, what you like, what you love, and even if you've taken it in prior years, we want you to do it again. We want to know who's listening and reading today. Also, when you take it, you're eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and some CityCast merch. Just visit citycast.fm/survey. Remember, even if you took it last year, go on and do it again. Now, you know we can't close the door without some good news. The XL Film Festival touches down in Chicago this Thursday and runs for the next 10 days with events across the city, including exclusive screenings, panel events, mixers, and more. I will drop a link for you in the show notes. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.